So this is now we're discussing ilm al-ma'ani. And I told you that the three sciences we need to study. One is ilm al-ma'ani, ilm al-bayan, and ilm al-badi'. First we're going to study is ilm al-ma'ani. It's a quite long discussion. Okay. So in here we're going to discuss the parts of a sentence. Okay. And especially musnad and musnad ilayh. This hasn't come before. First I'm explaining something called quyud. So we'll discuss this inshallah in this lesson. Okay. The first thing is parts of a sentence. What's this here? The man sat. Okay. And the man is lazy. Correct? If I was to do tarkib of this in English, I would say what? The man is what?
Subject.
And in here the man is what?
Subject as well.
Subject. But in Arabic, this is jumla fi'liya, isn't it?
Yes.
So what do you call this? What do you call the subject in jumla fi'liya?
Fine.
And in jumla ismiya you call it? Mubtada. So you have a fa'il, and you have mubtada, different names. One is for jumla ismiya, one for jumla fi'liya. But in theory, what are they both? Subject. So in English you have one subject, one word for them both. Because English you don't have jumla ismiya, jumla fi'liya concept. Whatever is being talked about, or whoever is doing the action, what do you call that?
Subject.
Subject. But in Arabic you have mubtada khabar, and you have fa'il. So you have the mubtada fa'il, but they both call the subject in English. And in Balagah, when you're talking about Balagah, so because remember Balagah doesn't deal with the tarkib. Balagah deals with the meaning. So whether it's mubtada or whether it's fa'il, it's the same thing, isn't it really? Because ilmul ma'ani. Remember, the science of the meaning. So the mubtada or fa'il doesn't really make a difference in ilmul ma'ani so much. We don't know who is doing the action. So that's why they call it one thing. What do they call this? So musnad ilayh means subject. And musnad ilayh is then, it can mean jumla ismiya, it'll be called fa'il, jumla fi'liya, sorry, it'll be called what? Fa'il. And jumla ismiya you call it what? Mubtada. So both of these are called what? Musnad ilayh. Okay? So the first part of a sentence is called a musnad ilayh. Whether it's a mubtada or whether it's a fa'il. What do you call this?
Musnad ilayh.
Musnad ilayh. And what does that mean in English?
It means the subject.
The subject. The person who's doing the action or the person you're talking about. Does that make sense? Okay? Yeah? Right. Now moving on. Now you got this much, okay? For a sentence to be grammatically correct, not meaning-wise. For a sentence to be grammatically correct, you must have two parts, minimum. If it says Zaidun, it's not a sentence, is it?
No.
You have to have at least two things. Zaid what? Either say Ja'a Zaidun, or I say Zaidun qa'imun. Zaid came, I bring a fa'al with it, or I bring a khabar. Then the sentence is complete. You understand? So you must have the subject, which is called what? Musnad ilayh. So you must have a subject, and that subject is called musnad ilayh. Correct? And the other part, okay, the other part. So the musnad is the subject, correct? Whether it's mubtada or fa'il. The other part is called what? The musnad. Because you need two parts in a sentence. A musnad ilayh, the subject, and you need the musnad. And the musnad ilayh is the other part. So in jumla fi'liya, what's the other part after other than the fa'il? In jumla fi'liya, fa'il. And in jumla ismiya, apart from the subject, which is the mubtada, what do you have? Khabar. So minimum, the farz ayn of a sentence, jumla ismiya and jumla fi'liya, is mubtada and khabar and fa'il fa'il. But instead of saying four different names, we say like musnad ilayh, which means the mubtada or the fa'il is one part, one farz. The second farz is what? The musnad, which means the fa'il or the khabar. Do you understand? So every complete sentence must have these two. A musnad ilayh, which means the subject, and the musnad, either the verb or the information about the mubtada. Have you understand this much? Yeah? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. So you have musnad ilayh and musnad. Correct?
Yes.
Right. Now apart from this, everything else is extra. Not in terms of meaning, in terms of what? Tarkib. Say for example, like farz, so everything else apart from the farz is extra. But it's not as useless, the farz, the sunnah, you pray. But it's not the rukn, it's not the essence of it, it's not the asas, the bunyad, the foundation. So you have the musnad ilayh and the musnad. Once you have this, the sentence is complete. In terms of grammar. But the thing is, the qaid is usually the focal point. So don't think of qaid. Qaidun, jama quyud. Qaid means the time, the bound or the limit or the tie. That is what you call, that is coming in a sentence. So anything apart from this is called a qaid. So all the maf'ul, the inna, kana, laysa, all of these are what? Qaid. On plural is quyud. But the thing is the main point. I would say, for example, Zaydun qa'imun. But if I mess up the ma is a negative particle, isn't it? It's a qaid, isn't it? If I mess it up,
then it doesn't make sense.
but it makes sense, but I've changed the whole meaning. So don't think of qaid as something that is not, that's the main point really, usually. Those are the main point. But grammatically you need these two. Once these two are done, that means the grammar is finished. The nahwa is finished. Khalas. But obviously the main focus is usually this. And I'll give you an example. You understand my examples? Okay? So what are the quyud? Go ahead.
So one's basically the musnad ilayh is like the
Subject.
bone, the subject's the bone of the sentence, and the musnad is like the extra part.
No, musnad is the information you must have as well.
So it'll grammatically make sense just with the musnad ilayh.
No, it wouldn't. How would it make sense? For example, Zaydun.
No, but you said that if you just had the musnad, as in if you just had the musnad, as in the musnad ilayh and the musnad.
Yes.
That's it.
If you have musnad ilayh and musnad, only two of those,
Yeah,
then that's kind.
grammatically it's fine.
Correct. But the quyud,
The meaning completely
Extra.
yeah, the nahwa will be finished, but the meaning won't be there. And what are these qaid? And when you see the examples, you realize, okay, I get what you're talking about. What are the qaid? Maf'ul bihi, the maf'ul mutlaq, the maf'ul lahu, maf'ul fi, called zarf as well, maf'ul ma'ahu, the mustasna, the hal, the tamyiz, the nawasikh. Nawasikh means here kana, inna, and the shart, in, law, all of those. All of these are the extra parts. And I said extra doesn't mean useless. Extra means they're not the asas, not the basic. They don't make up the essence of the sentence, the grammatical essence of the sentence. But in meaning, these are important. And I'll go through an example of each one of these. Look at this. Example of maf'ul bihi. Allah says, وَلَا يَحِلُّ لَهُنَّ أَن يَكْتُمْنَ مَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ فِي أَرْحَامِهِنَّ. It is not permissible for a woman if she is to conceal what's in her womb. Now if we remove this, it's not permissible for a woman to conceal.
change the meaning completely.
Conceal what? Like everything, she has to disclose everything, no secrets. That's what I'm talking about. What's the ayah? What's the focus of the ayah? You can't conceal this. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So look, the maf'ul bihi, so you have yahillu is the fa'il, is a fa'il that becomes a musnad, and an yaktumna as a fa'il. So yaktumna, okay, in this sentence, yaktumna, this is fa'il, fa'il. So that's to be finished, isn't it? But without this maf'ul bihi, doesn't make sense. So that's a maf'ul bihi. So maf'ul bihi brings a benefit to the sentence. Even though grammatically it's finished without the maf'ul. Yaktumna is finished. They hide. But without this, it won't make sense. Go ahead.
It's a bit different from the...
Yeah, I got a different example in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What's the example in the book?
وَإِذَا ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ.
Yeah. So the example is وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ. When Allah tested. Tested who? Ibrahim. So without the because we don't want to, if Allah put in the Quran, إِذِ ابْتَلَى الرَّبُّ. Yeah, إِذِ ابْتَلَى Allah. Who did Allah test? We don't know. So the ayah wouldn't give its purpose. The main focus of the sentence is the Ibrahim, the maf'ul. The maf'ul mutlaq. If a person is permissible, he has two wives. Or more than that. So then, la tamilu, ma la yamilu is to be inclined. So do not lean, do not be inclined. And what's this now? Kullal mayl maf'ul mutlaq. Meaning, describing the verb. How should we not be inclined? Totally. If you take this out, Allah says, do not be inclined. That changes the meaning completely. Allah is saying, well, we know for a fact that obviously human nature, you will have a favorite. You have a favorite student, you have a favorite friend, you have a favorite son, you have a favorite. You tend to have a personal preference. So Allah is saying, well, you have more than one. So don't be totally inclined, meaning ignore the other, don't fulfill her rights. So this is the main focus. Allah is saying, what can't you do? Be totally inclined, at least leave the other one totally, ignore her and just treat her badly. That's haram. So what's the main focus of this ayah? The maf'ul mutlaq. It's a qaid. So fa'il is in here. That's the musnad ilayh and the musnad. Complete, grammatically. But without this maf'ul mutlaq, what will happen? The sentence will not make sense. Well, it will make sense, but it wouldn't give you what Allah is trying to say. It will actually change the meaning. Allah says you can't be inclined at all. La tamilu, full stop. I said no. That's natural, but kullal mayl. That's what's haram. You understand? Maf'ul. La taqtulu awladakum. Don't kill your children. Fine, that's obvious. In all conditions, haram to kill your children. But here Allah mentioned a specific context. What is this? Out of fear of poverty. That you think of if I have children, you have abortion, or in the Arabs, what they used to do? After they were born, they would kill them out of fear of poverty. So Allah said, no, don't do this. So look, why? So what the maf'ul lahu give? What's the benefit? It gives the reason. So maf'ul bihi shows what's the benefit of maf'ul bihi in a sentence? It shows you what the action took place upon. Maf'ul mutlaq describes the verb. Maf'ul lahu tells you why the verb is happening. Maf'ul fi, where the action happened. Time and place. Labisna yawman. So look. So if you didn't have this, قال قائل منهم, one of them said, Kam labithtum. How long do you stay for? They said labithna. They haven't answered the question, have they? So the focus of this point is the maf'ul fi. How long did you stay? Yawman aw ba'da yawm. This is the qaid, the extra bit. Meaning extra from the musnad إليه, but it's the focal point of the sentence. And this is what gives you the fa'idah of the sentence. Without this, the sentence will not serve any purpose. Because if you say, how long do you stay? It said we stayed. How long? That's what I'm asking you. How long? You understand? So what does maf'ul fi do? The benefit of a maf'ul fi in a sentence, it gives you the time or the place of the action. Make sense? Now this is a brilliant example of explaining to you how important the qaid is. La taqrabu salah. Do not near salah. Or what is haliya? Whilst you are drunk, whilst you are intoxicated. You see what's happening here? So the hal is the main point here. The hal tells you in what condition the fail is taking place, or what condition the fa'il or the maf'ul is when the action is taking place. You understand? So do not come close to salah. If you do not have this part, the sentence is wrong. Don't pray salah. Oh, that's what it means. Say no. La taqrabu salah wa antum sukara. So this wow hal, the benefit of hal in general is what? It tells you the condition of the fa'il or the maf'ul. This is also, as I told you, it's linked to nahwa. It's not like something new altogether, but it's explaining more of the meaning perspective of this. Tamyiz. What's a tamyiz? It tells you, it removes any ambiguity in the sentence. It clarifies stuff. So, Rabbi zidni. Allah increase me, what? In wealth, in my body, in my age, what? Ilma. Increase me in my knowledge. So this tamyiz is what? The fa'idah is what? It removes the ambiguity in the sentence. And istisna. So Allah says, remember, when we said to the angels, prostrate. For sajadu, they prostrated. If we just said that, full stop. That's not what Allah's trying to say. Allah's saying, well, everybody prostrated except who? Iblis. So the istisna, what's the point of the istisna? To remove somebody from a previous ruling. So from sajadu, who's removed? Iblis. That's the purpose of istisna. Okay? This is very similar. This is a kind of a recap of the nahwa. But obviously, because you need to know the part of the sentence. So we're analyzing it. So you have musnad ilayhi, musnad, and everything else is a qaid. And you already know the purposes of these from nahwa. What does a maf'ul bihi do? What does a hal do? Etc. Okay? Nawasikh. Nawasikh means here, inna and kana. So what does it do? It puts this into a specific state. For example, if I say, Zaydun qa'imun. And I put kana, what does kana do now? Puts in a specific state, the past. If I put sara, it shows that it's becoming. So these nawasikh, they show you a perspective or a tense of the Jumla Ismiya. So asbaha here means, it can mean to become in the morning. For example, du'as you have, Allahumma bika asbahna, bika amsayna, Allahumma asbaha bi min ni'matin. Or it can just mean to become. And here it means to become. And the heart of the mother of Musa became restless. So instead of saying, fu'adu min Musa farighun, it means here, it became, it shows you evolve. So, and we've learned this in Nahwa as well. Okay? The shurut. This is also a qaid. For example, وَإِن كُنْتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَىٰ عَبْدِنَا. This is a shart. This is adding a dimension to this. So Allah is saying, فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِثْلِهِ. Bring an ayah like the Quran, or bring a surah like this. Not all the time, only if you have doubt. If you doubt, you say it's not Allah's book, it's not the Quran. Then Allah said challenge. So this is linked to this. This is a qaid. This is linking. Okay? Do you understand? Nafi. Make it negative. So look, laysa. If you say Allahu bi ahkamil hakimin, it's fine, but this is the question is here. Is Allah not the most powerful? Is Allah not the most wise? Is Allah not the greatest ruler? You following? So a lot of this has come before in Nahwa, but we just can't ignore it because it's come before. We have to mention that these are the parts of the sentence, and these are the part, this is the faida that they give, the benefit that they give. But because all this is already coming in Nahwa, it's nothing new at the moment. Do you understand? Do you have any questions? So the summary is what? We have?
Musnad Ilayh, Musnad.
Yes, we have a sentence. Whether it's Jumla Ismiya or Jumla Fi'liya, it'll have parts. The two main parts from a Nahwa perspective are what?
Nahwa perspective.
Yes.
Mubtada khabar.
And what do we call it in Balagah? Musnad Ilay and Musnad. Musnad Ilay is what?
Subject.
Subject, which is now in Jumla Ismiya is going to be? Mubtada, and Jumla Fi'liya is going to be? Fa'il. And the Musnad is information, which in the Jumla Ismiya is the? And Jumla Fi'liya is the? Fa'il. And everything else is called the? Qaid. And these qaid are extra in terms of tarkeeb, not in terms of meaning. They're the main focus of the sentence.
In terms of tarkeeb, not meaning.
Yes, tarkeeb is extra. If you don't have it, is the sentence finished? Yes, fa'il finish.
So qaid is extra in terms of meaning.
Tarkeeb,
Tarkeeb.
in terms of meaning. It has to be. If it's not, for example, la taqrabu salah. If you take it off, then what? Allah said, la taqrabu salah.
Don't come near
Not come near salah. That's not what it means. You understand?
Tarkeeb.
It's extra in terms of its meaning. And then you have maf'ul bihi, maf'ul lahu, maf'ul mutlaq. And we don't have to discuss all of these because it's already come in Nahwa. You studied this in Nahwa already.
So 10 is extra in terms of tarkeeb.
Yes. The qaid is extra in terms of the keep. And this makes up the part of a sentence. So every sentence is made up of a musnad ilay, musnad, and it may have quyud. Okay? Got it? Okay, bas. Subhanallah.
Not in terms of adding extra meaning, isn't it? Yeah, the meaning is already derived in those two.
No.
You know the meaning of it.
No, the hal brings a new meaning. The maf'ul mutlaq brings a new meaning.
So 10 is extra in terms of tarkeeb, but not in
Meaning. It brings a new meaning. It's extra in terms of its tarkeeb, meaning the sentence can be grammatically correct without it.
It brings new meaning.
But it brings new meaning, and it brings the main meaning and the most important meaning of the sentence.
Main meaning of the sentence.
Yeah. Subhanallah, bihamdika, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.